The animal kingdom was in trouble. For weeks the sun had scorched the land and no rain had fallen. The rivers dried up and the grass turned brown. There was no food, no water, and no hope. Every animal, big and small, felt the sharp pain of hunger in their bellies. Even King Lion, the mighty ruler of the land, could no longer roar as loudly as before. But the real trouble began when whispers started spreading. Through the kingdom, the stronger, fiercer animals, like hyena and leopard, began eyeing the weaker ones, like goat and rabbit. "Why don't we eat them?" they muttered among themselves. Fear crept into every corner of the land. King Lion knew he had to act fast before his kingdom descended into chaos. King Lion called a meeting. At his palace, a wide clearing under the shade of a giant baobab tree, animals from all over the land gathered, their ribs showing and their eyes hollow from hunger. "Cattle egrets!" King Lion roared weakly, summoning the white birds who often perched on the backs of buffalo. "You must fly far and wide to find food and water for the kingdom. Do not return until you bring us good news." The egrets, though tired and hungry themselves, flapped their wings and soared into the sky. They flew over dry forests, empty, rivers and barren fields, but there was nothing to be found. After days of searching, they returned to the king with their heads bowed low. "We found nothing, your majesty," they said. King Lion sighed deeply, his great mane drooping with despair. That night, he prayed to Olodumare, the creator, asking for guidance. As he slept, a strange dream came to him. The dream of feasting in the clouds. In the dream, King Lion saw himself and all the animals of the kingdom sitting in the clouds, eating from golden plates piled high with delicious food. Yams, plantains, fresh meat, and sweet fruits. They ate until their bellies were full, and their laughter echoed through the heavens. When King Lion woke up, he was filled with hope. He called the egrets again and ordered, "Fly straight up to the sky and see if my dream was true. Report back to me immediately." The egrets obeyed, but by now they were weak from hunger. After flying for hours, one of them collapsed in front of Tortoise's house. Tortoise, who was known for his cunning, was sitting outside chewing on a piece of yam he had secretly stored. Seeing the exhausted bird, Tortoise called to his wife, "Quickly, bring our last bit of food and give it to this poor bird." Mrs. Tortoise hesitated, knowing they had little left, but she did as her husband asked. The egret, grateful for the kindness, thanked Tortoise and promised, "I will repay your generosity. What can I do for you?" Tortoise's small eyes gleamed with mischief. "Let me come with you on your journey to the sky," he said. The egret, feeling indebted, agreed. Reaching the heavens, the egret carried Tortoise on its back, flapping its tired wings until they reached the gates of heaven. There, the angels greeted them warmly, but warned, "No food can leave this place." Tortoise, ever observant, watched how the angels worked. He noticed that before giving food, they asked each visitor for their name. He smiled to himself, already hatching a plan. When they returned to Earth, Tortoise whispered to the king about the food in the heavens. King Lion, overjoyed, called another meeting and announced the news to all the animals. To reach heaven, the animals needed wings. The birds agreed to give some of their feathers to help the land animals fly. Soon, even elephants and tortoises had wings attached to their backs. On the appointed day, the sky was filled with the flapping of many wings. The animals soared upwards, their hearts light with hope. When they arrived at heaven, the angels welcomed them and began asking for names to distribute the food. Tortoise and his wife were the first in line. "Write our names as Mr. and Mrs. Everyone," Tortoise said slyly. The angels wrote down the names without question. Then, when it was time to distribute the food, they called out, "Everyone!" Tortoise and his wife stepped forward. "Is this everyone?" one angel asked. "Yes," another angel replied. "Then bring all the food," the first angel said. The angels brought out yams, meats, fruits, and other delicacies and gave everything to Tortoise and his wife. They ate greedily, stuffing their mouths while the other animals watched in disbelief. The lion growled, "Why are they eating all the food?" The angels pointed to the list. "We gave the food to everyone, as requested," realizing Tortoise's trick. "There will be no violence in heaven," they declared. Instead, they grabbed Tortoise and his wife and threw them out of heaven. As Tortoise and his wife fell, their bloated bellies made it impossible to fly. They crashed to the ground and their shells shattered into pieces. Though their shells healed, the cracks remained as a permanent reminder of their greed. When the other animals returned to Earth, the angels refused to give them any more food, saying, "We have given the food to everyone." Furious and hungry, the animals turned on each other. The stronger ones hunted the weaker ones, and chaos consumed the land. From that day on, the animals divided into predators and prey, and the harmony of the kingdom was lost forever. To this day, the tortoise's cracked shell reminds everyone of the price of greed and cunning, and in the animal kingdom, the story is told to explain why the strong hunt the weak, a tale of trickery, hunger, and the fragile balance of life.